This is Hino's Sport, bringing you that heat and that fire. All right, folks. Let's talk about Chris Paul. Let me tell you something. Kendrick Perkins was on to something when he talked about Chris Paul basically has an ego problem. I seriously believe he does. Chris Paul is that type of player that doesn't know when time is time. Let me say that again. Chris Paul does not understand, or he does not get it, that he's that type of player that knows when time is time. I like when I was watching ESPN, right? And Kendrick Perkins and Ryan Hollins. I don't know if that's that dude's name, but he just sounds like an idiot. He shows every bit of the bench player that he is in basketball, right? You could tell why his ass was never a star, or why his ass had no meaningful contributions in basketball, right? That's neither here nor there. I'll get on him on another video, because you guys know me, my clapback is sick. Ain't nobody got better clapback in YouTube than me, because I keeps the foot on the what? On the necks. I keeps the foot on the what? On the necks of these Rudy Poo and these plum brain ultra fanboys. But here's the truth of the fact of the matter, man. Ryan Hollins sat here and he ran his damn mouth. You know what I'm saying? And what he was saying along with Kendrick Perkins, what he said didn't make no damn sense. He sat here and justified Chris Paul, right? I like what Kendrick Perkins said. I don't agree with the James Harden assessment, because I feel like Kendrick Perkins, he be kissing these players' ass too much because he knows them, because he used to play. So I feel there's some ass kissing going on with Kendrick Perkins, and he knows that he has that relationship with those players, and he knows that if he doesn't continue kissing their ass, then he's kind of fucked, basically. And you can see that with him. Whereas with Ryan Hollins, he just absolutely knows nothing that he is talking about. He's just running his mouth for the sake of running his mouth. I don't know who knows the least amount of basketball, him or Nick Wright. As a matter of fact, I got to give Nick Wright credit. I usually call him Nick wrong, but in this scenario, Nick Wright actually knows more basketball than that fool. I don't know how you could know more basketball than Nick Wright, but I don't know how you could know less basketball than Nick Wright. How about I say that the right way? But I guess this dude knows less than Nick Wright, right? Here's the truth of the fact of the matter, folks. And the truth of the fact of the matter is this, man. Because you guys got to hear me, and hear me freaking well. Here's the facts, folks. Because folks got to see this thing for what it is. Chris Paul is no longer that guy that can go out there and get you 30 points, 15 assists, right? And, you know what I'm saying, 2 steals a game. He can't do that no more. And I may have exaggerated on the assists. Probably 10 assists, right? He can't do that kind of crap no more. Excuse me. Chris Paul's that guy that can get you 20 points to 25 points. He could probably get you anywhere between 6 to 9 assists, right? And he could probably get you anywhere between 1 and 2 steals. So his production has dropped off tremendously. But it's not about that, because those are still pretty good production for a guy his age at 34, 35 years old, right? But here's the truth of the fact of the matter. Chris Paul is injury prone, folks. The injuries on this dude piles up like tissue paper. Let me say it again. The injuries on this dude piles up like tissue papers. So what Chris Paul needs to do is accept his mortality, his NBA mortality, which is he is no longer the guy on that team. He is at best a second, or right now, I would really make him a third option. That's what he is, man. And he needs to accept that. The sad part about it is, if he goes and plays with LeBron James makes anybody look, if you are already a number 2 option, he makes you look like a number 3 or number 4 option. And if you were a number 1 option, you're going to look like a number 2 or number 3. Because everyone has this fallacy. You leave this to the LBJ Riders media, right? The LBJ Brigade, right? The LBJ apologists and the LBJ stance. They make you think LeBron James makes his teammates better. But if that's the case, then why does he have an abysmal 33% NBA Finals average? But that's neither here nor there. Chris Paul, if he takes his ass to the Los Angeles Lakers, he will be fighting with LeBron James. You know why? Because Chris Paul has this alpha personality in his mind, even though he does not have an alpha game. Let me say that again. Chris Paul has an alpha personality in his mind, even though he does not have an alpha game. So it's going to translate, and it's going to showcase if he plays with LeBron James. They will be down each other's throat, because Chris Paul has this mentality that he has to run the offense. Well, the reason why that would not work with LeBron James is because LeBron James wants to run the offense, right? So they both are going to go at each other's neck. So I don't think that's the right fit for him. I think at this stage of his career, if he's smart, he's going to go to the Miami Heat because Jimmy Butler has a game to where he does not have to be the point guard. Let me say it again. Jimmy Butler has a game to where he does not have to be the point guard, folks. So if you put Chris Paul and Jimmy Butler together, that is a dynamic duo. It continues on the path of what Kevin Durant and Kawhi Leonard continue, which is restoring balance. Let me say it again. It continues on the path of what Kevin Durant and Kawhi Leonard continue, which is restoring balance. We are in what's called the restoring balance era in the NBA. Let me say that again. We are in what's called the restoring balance era in the NBA. I'm the first one to say that. I'm the first one to coin that phrase. If anybody copycats that, just remember to put respect on my name because I'm He Knows His Sport. I'm bringing you that what? That heat and that fire. So just remember, I was the first one to coin that phrase. So we left the La Super Friends era or the La Friends era, and now we're in the restoring balance era. So basically, this is an era where we have a bunch of dynamic duels. If Chris Paul's smart, he goes to the Miami Heat because he'll have the full keys to the kingdom. He'll be welcomed in with open arms as a floor general. He'll have Jimmy Butler there, and they could build around that team. And they got some young quality players there to where Chris Paul's point guard ability will really manifest itself, and he should be averaging anywhere between 10 to 15 assists per game at this stage of his career. And he could still show some semblance of dominance, but he could let Jimmy Butler be the workhorse. I think their games would mesh a lot better than him going to the Los Angeles Lakers and playing with some damn LeBron James. But y'all comment below and let me know what y'all think. Chris Paul, if you are listening, you need to take your ass to Miami Heat. There's just no two ways around that. This is He Knows His Sport. Checking out.